This is Nahu again, and much peace and love to you out there on YouTube. Tonight I'm going to do another Psychic Celebrity Spotlight. And tonight that Psychic Celebrity Spotlight is going to shine on an outstanding illusionist and magician, Mr. Criss Angel.
When I tune into Criss, I see an image of an angel with one wing that is dark and the other light. The dark wing represents his outer, tough character, the angel he likes to portray, the fallen angel. And the light wing is a real Criss that's hidden beneath the veneer of his outer image. This dark light angel schism suggests he is an introverted child in a tough guy's body. Underneath all the glitz and freakiness, he is quite vulnerable emotionally, sensitive, and even a tad bit superstitious. Early on, he was often frightened by the unknown and the dark. Demonstrating some of the characteristics of the true Sagittarian person, the degree of his proficiency in illusion and magic is an attempt to dispel these fears, and his profession reflects his hidden philosophical and spiritual conflicts. That's why he struggles against the supernatural so ardently, quick to denounce evidence of its mystery as trickery or mistakes of perception. So he spends an inordinate amount of time building self-image, constantly engaged in looking at himself in the mirror, fascinated with projecting a sexually magnetic mystique that suggests a tough, dangerous character. This behavior fulfills his wish to stay in control of the unknown, keeping one step ahead of his shadow. However, the shadow is catching up with him. I feel he spends a lot of time fighting this hidden inner self. He seeks to mask its characteristics in costumes portrayed by the punk gothic image. This image symbolizes power over his inner fears. It is a magical effort to control the inner conflict between these dark and light forces. You see, he was drawn to the life of a mystic at an early age, yet impatient to develop his latent abilities. He compensated by learning magic tricks in an obsessive, compulsive drive to become a master illusionist. I believe this is the inner drive behind many illusionists, including the amazing Randy. I sense Criss will eventually return to the study and development of his psychic abilities, and there are early signs of it in his current efforts to amaze people with his mind-reading skills. He also has a strong personality split between wanting to be loved and actually fully giving into an equal relationship. He is a big flirt with a wandering eye, and even though he isn't really actively seeking a serious relationship, prefers to move from one person to another. Actually, finding true love would be the best thing for him. However, he will have continuous problems with intimate relationships. There are several reasons for this. He doesn't really like to share the spotlight, preferring to be the center at all costs. It's a control issue, even with his significant other. He doesn't like competition and actively resists any suggestions of a challenge, by going to the furthest degrees to perform the most outlandish stunts possible, to prove he can't be challenged. That's so he can stay on top. He plays with power, and it leads him again and again to the brink of potential danger. Even though his brother, J.D., tries hard to constantly look out for him, he knows him better than Criss knows himself. Underneath Criss's cool exterior, he is a worrier and has to battle with secret fears. He likes to move fast to get beyond them, preferring to live in a fantasy reality he controls through magic. One of his worst fears is that he will be the victim of his own stunts, like Houdini, and in fact, he will be injured in the right eye during one of his stunts this year. He has a weak lower back and has injured his left knee and neck. The injury to his neck was a wake-up call that he intuitively recognized. In fact, he unconsciously rigged the accident to stop himself from taking crazy chances that he sensed would lead him into potential danger. thus indicating that, in spite of his rejection of psychic phenomena, he does follow his intuition. Once he resolves his inner conflicts, he will truly amaze people with his psychic abilities. I sense serious relationship troubles on the horizon for him from his ex-wife over property settlement. He will also experience a threat to his life from a mysterious character in Las Vegas. Very little of this will be known to the public, but some of it will eventually leak out. His brother J.D. will have health-related physical problems this year and will have to drop out of helping Criss with his performances, which isn't good because his help is vital to Criss's safety. Criss will also be pursued by a female stalker who will confront Criss personally and try to accuse him of making statements that later will be dismissed by a court. My suggestions to Criss: slow down and smell the coffee, and be careful of your associations that could lead you into potential danger from shifty characters and contracts. This has been another Psychic Celebrity Spotlight. This week, Criss Angel. Look forward very soon to some extremely interesting new insights. Have a nice evening. Namaste.